Hey y'all, what's up? This is Jesse Both, aka J Bone, and what we're gonna do tonight is something a little bit new for me, and so hopefully y'all bear with me, and we'll be able to get you some good information. What we're gonna do is I want to go through these holes one by one, and kind of talk about the different shot approaches and paths you can take in playing each of these holes. Hopefully you'll be able to get a little information about the holes that will help you in your tournament play. We got qualification rounds that start. Qualifier rounds will start tomorrow, Monday, and they last through Wednesday. So hopefully through this you can get a little bit of information to help you in that qualifying round. Hopefully to post that good score, make it into the opening round. We will be using like an illustrator type thing here. Um, I'll be able to draw on my screen and show you type of different things about the holes. I would like to encourage you all to visit my YouTube channel. You can either you can search for Jesse Both, and that is Jesse Both, Both, just like you say it, both of us. Okay, that's my name. And if you search for that, you should be able to pull up my YouTube channel. There I have several different videos of the individual holes as I play them, and many of them have commentary about them. So let's go ahead and delete that, and we are going to pull up our first hole. I've got to back out of this, pull up that, and here we are. We're going to kind of have to move my face around during this video to stay out of the way of the different holes. Here we have hole number one, and this is a par 4. Let's see here. First time doing this, so we're learning. Hole 1. Right, so there we go. This is a par 4. So I would say though that this is a very eagleable par 4, and there's several different ways that people take. First, we're going to talk about the clubs you're going to use off the tee box. For the rookie division, you're going to use probably the extra mile or the quarterback. I personally going to use the extra mile, and then in the pro division, you're probably going to use the extra mile. Most people will be using probably the level 6 or the level 7 extra mile in the pro division. I personally like using the backbone and the thorn. Some people like the Saturn. I know some people use the Goliath. I usually end up using the thorn on my second shot on this hole, and have had a lot of success doing so. So let's kind of go over the different shots you can take. There are several different places you can land the ball. Some people land it in there, some people land it over here, and some people land it over there. Okay. From the rookie's tee box, you're going to want to take your shot. If you're laying it here, you're going to want to use plenty of topspin, and depending on the direction of the wind, you might want to switch your side spin one way or the other. Probably no side spin with a normal wind, but you could use some curl if you like to try to curl that ball towards the hole. If you're playing in the rookie or the pro division, you may be able to continue that shot on the drive to land your drive in this zone. And if you're able to do that, using some curl on the ball will help you get onto that green in one. It's very doable. I like to play with this, call it the half hook, where I pull straight down and then I completely hook the ball to the right, and it kind of travels more of a path like this, bounces in this area and rolls into this area. From there I have a very easy chip shot, and there's just several different ways to play the hole. Whichever way is most comfortable for you is the way I suggest. This is probably the safest shot, bringing it onto there, and then bouncing it over onto the green. Okay. Let me see if I have anything else to talk about on this hole. No. that's about all I have to talk about on this hole. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to our next hole, which is we got hole 2. Oops. Hole 2. And it's a par 3. Okay. Now this hole right here is kind of a tricky hole. For the rookies, you're probably going to be using your Viper. You know, most if you're playing rookie with better clubs, you might be using, you know, maybe a Guardian or a Sniper. What you want to do is you want to approach this hole and with the least amount of spin possible. If you do land it in this area, you might adjust your side spin one way or the other to try to straighten out your shot to accommodate the slope that you will be hitting. And you know, this could be a really tough hole. If you get an ace on this hole, I mean, that would be a real special treat. And like I said, if you're playing the pro circuit, you're going to probably be using the Guardian or the Sniper. I kind of like the Sniper on this hole just because of the ball guide that it provides. But if you're playing the rookie division, you could be using the Sniper or even the Viper on this hole. So let's go ahead, move on to our next hole. Now this is a fun hole. This is hole 3. And you have a really good chance of getting an albatross on this hole. Par 5. Now this can be one of those holes where you kind of have the urge to maybe try to take your tee shot over the water, land it there. I would suggest that unless you have like really good clubs, you're going to want to just, you know, take your shot, skip it off here, and drive it up into this area. Okay. Same for your pro tee. I have experimented some from the pro tee with a complete hook slice shot and had some luck on it. We're going to have to wait and see the kind of wins we get in the tournament before I decide if I will continue to do that shot or not. But for now, you want to use this as your landing zone and bounce it over the fairway that way. Land it in there, somewhere in that area. And in order to do that, you're going to use your full top spin, full right spin. And you probably want to use some curl. Make sure when you're lining your ball up, you're taking into account the wind and where the wind might push your ball. So like for instance, if you have a 6 mile an hour wind blowing that way, okay, and you want the ball to bounce right there, well, you're probably going to need to set your shot up to land back here, so that, you know, that takes into account your ball being pushed by the wind. Because if you set up your shot here, and a 6 mile an hour wind might push you into the water or that rough, and then you're looking at a shot right here with a long shot onto the green, and that's not something that we want to do. So let's see, I'm going to that. I want to zoom in here on the green here for a minute. Now, from this spot right here, you have the opportunity to bring your shot in this way. You can go straight at the pin up on that hill and then back it down the hill, or you could even land it short in this rough area right here and roll it up into the hole for your albatross chance. Be sure if you land it short that you do put that little bit extra top spin on it, because there is quite a decent slope on the front of this green, and if you don't put some top spin on it, you might be rolling back into the rough, and we definitely don't want that. So we're going to move on to our next hole, which is hole 4. And of course it's a par 3. Okay. Now this hole right here is, I wouldn't say it's a difficult hole, but you know, depending on where you land your tee shot, you could be having some issues. You probably want to land your tee shot somewhere in this area. And I like to just go basically straight at the hole. I use the Guardian. On your rookie, you're going to be using probably the Backbone or the Goliath, and then on the pro, you'll be wanting to use your Guardian. As far as pro goes, you can just kind of go straight at the hole, use your backspin. I would suggest maybe adding a little bit extra wind to your to the wind that's on the hole already. Like, let's say if you have 4 miles per hour wind, you know, add 1 extra mile per hour wind for a total of 5 onto this shot. So you want to land your ball right in this area, okay? The problem with landing it before that is you can see kind of the slope that there is on that fringe fairway, you know, in the front of the green, and you can get kind of like an erratic bounce off that area. So that's why I say it's important to land your ball on the actual green. So let's see if I have anything else to say about this hole, and I do not. So we're going to move on to our next hole, which is a hole 5, par 5. And this hole right here, it can be kind of tricky, because if you play it wrong, you could find yourself not gaining the stroke but losing the stroke. Depending on the wind that we get on this hole, you know, everybody in your rookie should probably be using the big dog, because you're going to need a good amount of extra distance for your second shot. Depending on the wind, you're going to want to take your ball this way, bounce it in here, roll it up in there. Okay, so you want to be in that second circle area on your drive. You're going to have to adjust, maybe use a little bit of curl, side spin to get your ball there. If I had to guess, we're going to have a wind that's about like that. So you're going to want to end up actually aiming. You actually want to aim the ball in this area so that it adjusts wind-wise and lands over in here. Okay. So from this area right here, you're going to have your second shot going towards the green. Now, you may be inclined to try to make that second shot onto the green. And if you do, awesome sauce, you know, it's awesome. You know, you're really in a good chance to get that eagle. But if you don't, you're sitting in that sand bunker over here, or sitting in that rough, or that sand bunker over here. And then that really complicates your next shot, trying to get that extra stroke. So my suggestion is to lay up right in here, and you leave yourself a very nice, makeable medium range chip for your eagle. If you have that extra long club and you know you can make it onto the green, no problem. You know, you may use this rough here to skip the ball and kill the ball onto the green. By all means, go ahead, do it. But my suggestion for most players in the community would be to try to lay up here and not even worry about trying to make that shot onto the green. Because if you do mess up, you will be sitting at, you know, a birdie. I mean, a par instead of an eagle or a birdie. All right, then let's see. The hammerhead might be a pretty good club if you have like a level 3 or above hammerhead on this hole. It's got a little bit more accuracy than the big dog, so that might be an option for that second shot if you really, 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 really want to just try to give that a shot at the green. So let's move on to our next hole. And this is hole number 6. Okay, and this is a par 4. You will have a chance at an eagle on this hole. Most people will probably be using either the Viper or the Sniper on the rookie, and most people in the Pro Division will probably use the Sniper. That extra ball guide is really useful in this hole to line up that second shot in the roll you're going to get. I do see some people will take their tee shot, skip it here, over into this area and land it there. I really don't like that approach. I don't like the angle that it gives you to the green. It forces you to curl your ball to get to the green, and I really just do not like that. I would rather take my drive straight up the side here and land it in this area right here. Keep in mind, you are going up a hill, but you don't want to use too much topspin, because if you do use too much topspin, you'll go through the fairway and into that rough area right there. Most people playing pro can probably still reach the green from there, but if you're in rookie division, you probably will not have the clubs suitable to reach the green from there. So that could be kind of a hole killer for you. Play it safe. Just make sure you get your drive somewhere in this section, and you will be able to reach the green on your second shot. Okay? Now I'm going to zoom in here on the green a little bit and erase this. Get this out of the way. Okay. Now, the key for your second shot is, especially with the Sniper, you want to bounce your ball on that fringe. Okay. I like my second hop to hit that fringe and then roll into the pin from there. On this particular green, it's a good idea to roll your ball in from this side of the hole. We'll just say that's the hole. You want to roll the ball in from that upper right hand side of the hole. There's kind of like a little bit of a slope there, and it helps the ball filter to the hole from there. So you kind of want to land your shot somewhere in here and have your second hop bounce on this fringe and then roll into the hole that way. That would be my best advice for this hole. So again, landing zone right there, right there. Okay, first shot, second shot. That's my suggestion. If you play this hole differently and it works for you, I suggest that you go with whatever is most comfortable for you and what has worked for you in the past. Okay, but if you're unsure, that is a suggested route that I would tell you to do. So let's move on to our next hole. We got our next hole is going to be a par 3, hole 7. And of course, it's a par 3. On the rookie division, you're probably going to be using the Backbone or the Goliath. And on your pro division, you're going to be using the Sniper or the Guardian. Now, if you use the Guardian, you're most likely going to be trying to land the ball up in this zone. If you use the Sniper, you're most likely going to be trying to land the ball down in that bottom zone. I personally would rather land my ball down this bottom zone, and I'm going to use usually probably about 2 to 3 backspin on my Sniper, maybe 3 or 4, to bounce the ball, and I want the ball to land. What I want is the ball to land right here. Okay? So from here, I want it to land just over the top of that lip, and then from there, it's going to trickle down to the hole. For that reason, you don't want to use too much backspin because you don't want your ball to be dead end too much when it hits that little area of fringe. Okay, you want that fringe just to kill it just enough to give it that nice easy roll into the hole. If you are going to play the guardian shot from this area, you're going to be bouncing it up and, with a lot of backspin to bring it back into the hole that way. But for most of the rookies, they'll be using the backbone or the Goliath, and you'll be using probably 2 to 2.5-ish backspin, landing it in there, hopping it over here, in there, and then rolling it to the hole. Okay, and that's what you're going to be doing on this hole. It's a pretty easy, straightforward par 3, and probably will be a lot of people getting the aces on this hole. If I remember correctly, these holes were played last in the Vineyard, or something like that tournament, the wine tournament. I don't remember exactly the name of it, but I do recall getting a few aces on this course. So we're going to move on to our next hole. This is hole number 8, par and par 4. Now this right here is a fairly tough par 4. What you're wanting to do on this par 4 is from the tee box. It doesn't matter if you're the rookie or pro. You want to try to stay along the right side of this fairway as much as possible. And you do want to use curl on this shot, top spin and full right spin on this shot, because you want to end up somewhere in this area off your drive. Okay? Your drive is going to be coming in like this, and it's going to hit in here. The slope of this hill is going to bounce your ball back off this way, and you want to be able to have enough spin to end up over in this area still. If you do not, you will end up in these bunkers or in the rough, and that will spell disaster for you on this hole. So, drive, bounce over here. Okay? A little bit closer to the fringe. Let's see if I can get a little bit better of a drawing here. Drive, bounce over here. All right, there we go. That's a little bit more accurate. So, from this shot right here, you're going to be in this area, okay? And you have two options depending on what you're using. You have the, if you're going to have your Guardian or your Sniper. With the Guardian and the Sniper, depending on its level, you're still going to be able to reach it up in here. And what you're going to do is you're going to bounce it in there, back there, with plenty of backspin to bring it back down onto the green. There is quite a severe slope on the back of this green. So if you do go through the green, you do have a decent hill there to bring it back onto the green. Now let's say you want to go the other way. If you're going to go this way, you want to make sure you're using plenty of side spin and curl to bring it up this slope and feed it back down onto the green that way. To me, that's much more of a difficult shot than the other one, but I've heard some people say the exact opposite. So again, it kind of comes down to what feels most comfortable for you and how you want to play the shot. Definitely a hole that should be a birdie, but I foresee some people getting pars on it too. Alright, so we're going to move on to our last hole, which is hole 9, and actually maybe one of the most difficult holes on the course, which is always great to play the most difficult hole last, right? Par 5. Okay. So, this is one of those holes where you can approach it many different ways. From the tee box, you can go up here, or you can go over here. Okay? Either way works. I prefer to go to the left side just because you're there's just much larger of a landing zone over there. The reason people do go to this right side is that their second shot can go right there. Okay, that's like the main reason people will go to that right side. People that go to the left side usually have the the idea they're going to take their second shot up in here. Okay, now I want to show you all something. Let's see here, zoom in here. So let's just say your ball's right in this area, okay? In order for this shot to work, you have to make sure that you do get your ball up in this area, close enough, fairly close to the edge. Back in here, not gonna work. Gotta be up in that front area. Now, if you see this, there's kind of a small little gap in the trees right there. This will work with the sniper, with the big dog. I've used it last tournament, and I had a lot of success with it. And I'm going to show you my thought process through this whole thing. You can take this shot right here through that gap, land it in that rough, and with a little bit of topspin, just a little bit of topspin, you can roll your ball into this zone right there. Okay, so I'm gonna clear that, back out. I want to back out here for a second. All right. So we're right there. Okay. Come on. Okay, there we go. Right there. Okay? Now you tell me what position would you rather take your shot from to the green? Which of these pathways is a much straighter trajectory to the green? You tell me. Of course, it's this one right here. So, it's maybe a little bit riskier, but in my opinion, it's no riskier than going over here to this little thin, narrow area of fairway. But it's a little bit riskier, but it sets you up for a much straighter shot onto the green. If you like just to go here and then up here, and you like hitting the ball from right here, maybe you have a shot worked out from there that works good for you. By all means, use it. Don't make me stop you. I'm just kind of putting that little option out there. Put it in your mind, give you the options. You got to be the adult. You got to be the one that decides which one you want to use. So, just a few kind of tidbits and tips that I have that have worked for me in the past on these holes. Hopefully this is something that will help you out going into your qualifying round. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever done something like this. If I get a few people that tell me that they liked it and it helped them out, and I'm going to try to do this for upcoming tournaments, and I'll try to get it out sooner than the night before qualifying starts. This is just something that kind of like popped into my head tonight, and I said, well, hey, what the heck, might as well just do it and see how it turns out. I kind of like the idea of being able to draw on the map with the illustrations. I've never seen anybody doing that live on a video, so I thought that was kind of cool and something new. So if you like this and you feel like this was beneficial to you, please leave a comment. Please leave a comment. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Give this video the thumbs up. And please show your friends, tell your friends, share it with your friends. The most important thing to do is subscribe, because that means when I post new videos and content, you will get the little notifications that tell you that I posted the video and the content. I've got like 5 or 6 of the holes posted on my site right now, where I actually play the hole as I talk, and commentary through the actual play. So, hopefully y'all enjoyed this. Once again, my name is Jesse Both. Jesse Both, Both. friends call me J-Bone. Okay? Search for those names on YouTube, and you'll find my channel. Alright, hope you all have a good night, and good luck in the tournament tomorrow. Hopefully I will be posting a qualifying round for my rookie and my pro account sometime tomorrow or Tuesday. Alright, have a good night.